Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm peeking at the price of Bitcoin just briefly, just to say, hey, look, you see what happened yesterday? Isn't it kind of funny what happened yesterday? And guess what I said in my last video? No, I didn't know it was going to happen. No, I didn't make a prediction. But it was one of the options. And if you've seen the option and you understood the option, then you were not surprised by yesterday's flash crash. Basically, go back to the last video and watch the first 10 minutes and you'll see exactly what I was talking about. And it has to do with this right here, which basically I talked about a flat, a regular flat, an expanded or irregular flat, or a running flat. I said this type of combination could be something what's occurring now. So basically, just to pop in here and say nothing to be concerned about, nothing to be worried about. I even said yesterday, if I'm a hodler and I want long-term sustainability, I want this flat to occur, right? I highly recommend watching the video I put out, not yesterday, but the day before. It will go over everything. And don't really have much time today to go over all that. But yeah, just highly recommend. Check out the video I did, not yesterday, but the day before. Basically going over exactly what just happened yesterday, right? We had that big dump. Everybody's like, what happened? What happened? And I'm sitting here going, see, I told you, I knew that was going to happen. No, I'm just kidding. I did not know. I'm not some fortune teller. I don't have a crystal ball. And I'm not here to be, braggadocious. All I'm here for is to provide options, right? Obviously, that was one of the main options that I had, and it just so happened to have followed that option, right? That doesn't mean the next time won't be my third or fourth option, right? So basically, I was suggesting that this is an A, right? All of this is a B, and now we're coming down for C. Now C could have already finished. C can come down and meet these lows, or C can come all the way down and back test this area back over here around 38.2. Or if it wants to get really nasty, it can come all the way back down to 35.8 and meet up with the bull market support band, which, by the way, would be incredibly bullish, right? Remember, in the video before, I said we got plenty of wiggle room. There's nothing to be concerned about, right? So, one of the other things I said was this. We have an ascending triangle. And I said, I like the ascending triangle. The problem with the ascending triangle is we broke out too early and we didn't have enough follow through. When we were up here, I said, yeah, it looks okay. But the problem is usually ascending triangles break out at least 70 to 80 to 90% of the way. So I was expecting somewhere around here to break out, but it broke out too. If I stretch this out here, you could see it broke out way too early, probably around 50%. So that made me very concerned. And then when we stopped up here, right? When we stopped up here, I was like, I don't know. We could come down and back test. Yeah, that's a potential, and then continue higher. I like that. Or we can have this expanding flat or irregular flat, which, by the way, we came all the way back down to the belly of the ascending triangle. We caught support. We made a higher low. That's important. We made a higher low, and we had a massive impulse. So either, this is the options now. So now we understand that. So here's the new options. Option number 1, this is a 1, 2, and now we're about to get 3, 4, 5, and finish up wave C, right? And then continue on our merry way. That's definitely a possibility. I'm not to say it's over with, right? Or, an addendum to what I just said, this is a crash. This is a retracement of that crash, and now we're going to go back down into reaccumulation and sort of do this type of thing. right? Where we sort of flatten out for a while. That could definitely happen. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. So, you know, for more information, just like I said, go back to this video. It only got 463 views. I think that video deserves a little bit more than that, considering what occurred here. So, basically, if I do like an XRP video or a Theta or Theta Fuel video, those seem to get quite a lot more, sometimes up to 3 to 4 times more. You know, because at the end of the day, who cares about Bitcoin, right? No, not too many people care. But the thing is, and I know this is frowned upon, but what's good for Bitcoin is good for the alts. But more importantly, if we can understand what Bitcoin is doing, then it doesn't really matter what the alts are doing, because if, for example, Bitcoin was going to do that flat pattern like was suggested the other day, then it would have been known, okay, if Bitcoin's going to do that, then Theta, XRP, etc., 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 are going to do the same thing, except in a much bigger velocity, right? So if you notice, like Bitcoin was down, what, 3, 4, 5%. XRP was down like 7, 8, 9%, right? I think Theta was even a little bit more than that. But that's fine. That's fine. That's what the alts do, right? They scare the heck out of you, right? They make you second guess yourself. They make you, you know, everybody has a plan until you get a big fat red candle in your face, right? So that's usually how it goes. But like I said, if you follow this channel, hopefully I earned your subscription, you can sort of rule out the different possibilities, right? It's not about guessing exactly which one it's going to be. It's about ruling out which one it's not. So, you know, so let's take a look for a brief moment. So just real quick, this was yesterday's video. Wanted to just show you real quick. And by the way, if you hit this little settings button and you can go to playback speed, you can increase the speed of the video, right? So for example, if you know, my videos are normally longer, people don't have a lot of time, right? So I highly recommend, my voice is going to sound funny, but you know what, it's fine. Speed up the video at least up to 1.25, up to 1.5. That's what I recommend. That's usually how I watch my videos. You know, now sometimes you got to slow it down to make more sense, but speeding up a YouTube video to get the information right is sometimes a good idea. So for this purpose, I'll just go 1.5. Here, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. So it'd be A, all of this is B, and then we come down for C. And what that would be is some type of running flat or potentially even an expanding flat. So another word. Now remember, this is the last video I did. I basically came out with a video not yesterday but the day before, and I started off the video saying, hey, I got another Bitcoin update. And then I said, why would I do a Bitcoin update if I just did one the other day? And basically, well, this was the reason, because I had new information, right? I'm sort of looking at it differently. And good thing I did come out with that video, right? Because that's exactly what, you know, sort of happened. And it might not be finished yet, right? So here we go. You know, we're working on this B wave, right? And the B wave itself is a WXY. So that would be the B wave, right? So now the question is B finished, right? This is just one idea. So, you know, entertaining it for the time being. You know, maybe B has another hit to the high. Then we come down for C. So for example, on the right-hand side, you can see here are some examples of expanded or irregular flats, running flat, right? So something to that effect. You can see here, if it is, right, we have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, we break the high. Same thing here, 3, 3, we broke the high. Then we come down in 5, take out this low, and then accelerate to the upside. And, you know, that would be essentially like another liquidity grab. So if I had to draw it, it would look something like this, right? Maybe B's got one more hit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get everybody super bearish, right? Everybody's like, what's going on? You know, it's panicking, it's over, Bitcoin's topped, it was a fake out, right? Because that's what it likes to do, right? So, you know, when we consolidate right here, right, we're consolidating, we break out, everybody's bullish, but then when we go down in 5 ways, when we come right back down, what happens? Everybody says, what? It was a fake out. It was a fake out to the down, it was a fake out to the upside. Now it's over, we're going down. But have you ever heard of a double fake out? That's sort of what a flat pattern does. It's a double fake out, right? And it's kind of like, you know, it kind of twist your head around like, whoa, where did that come from? You know, it's not usually common. I guess it is in crypto, right? So basically you come down here and then you accelerate to the upside, right? You get all this liquidity, then you start to really shoot on up to the upside. And that could potentially be what's in store. And I really, you know, I like that idea for 2 reasons. One, it basically screws up everybody, right? And you say, well, why is that good? Well, because, you know, when people are too cocky in their trade, over leverage, whatever, they get wiped out. All that liquidity pours into the market, and then it causes a reversal for us hodlers, right? If you're a hodler, right, I always say I'm 90% a hodler, 10% trader. So I'd rather my hodl position play better than my trading position. So, but if you're trading it, it could be tricky, right? And definitely not financial advice. Anything I say is, you know, not financial advice. I could be totally dead wrong. These are just ideas, potential ideas that could occur, and something to keep an eye on, right? So again, here's your examples right here. So you have a regular flat, right? Which basically the B wave doesn't take out the high. Well, we can rule that out because the B wave already took out the high. And then you have this here, expanded or irregular flat, right? Which in case the B wave took out the high. So that's a contender. This one down here, and in a regular flat, you would come down here. If it's a running flat, it would come, you know, over here. And basically, you know, it's a flat correction. It's flat, right? Boom, 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 right? So that's an idea for everybody to consider. So there you go. That was the video the other day, and that's exactly what happened. Not to say that I knew that was going to happen, right? I didn't know, but that was one idea that everybody needed to consider. Now, the flat, right, is basic. Now, so basically this, we can rule out all the other stuff. That's what it's about. We can rule out, you know, the other ideas. Now we know what it is. An expanding flat, right? So now that we have that information, now we can use that to continue our research to figure out, okay, now what's the next move? If this is the flat and it already had that first knockdown, right? This knockdown right here. Now the video was about right somewhere up in here, right? So we have this knockdown. The question is it over? Or do we still have more to go, right? That'll be the next thing to understand is basically the idea would be this is a 1, 2, this is a 3, this is a 4. We come down one more time for 5, take out the low, and what we want to see is divergence from this wave to this wave on the RSI as well. So now that's one idea, right? We can come down for a 5th wave and basically, you know, challenge, you know, these lows down in here. If it wants to be really bearish, it can break the low, right? Causing all the stops to get triggered, all the liquidity to pour in, and then an acceleration to the upside, because that's usually what a flat does, right? It basically is a running, it's like a correction where, you know, it looks like it's going to break out. It shoots all the way down. Everyone's like, okay, yeah, it's going down. But then boom, it's a double fake out. That's what it is. So a double fake out could be initiated. We just don't know exactly, because that looks pretty, that's a nice recovery. Now, here's one thing I will say. If we can get above this, right, this would be the other idea. Maybe this was the low down here. It could be, right? So what we would do is we would take a Fibonacci extension. We would bring it all the way down here. And I would say, look, if we can get back above, most importantly, 45, let's say 45,480, right, all the way to this 786, 40, I would say between 45 and 45K and 45,500. So if we can get above that, then it's going to look like it was over. Now again, it could come back down. It can shoot up here, take out this high, and then quickly come back down like another flat, right? It could be another flat happening, right? You know, it's definitely a possibility, in which case that would be an A. This is B. B takes out A, and then we come down for C, right? Which would make sense, right? Not to say that's going to happen. So then you say, well, if we do break out, then how do we know it's the real thing? Well, you don't until we figure out what happens in here. Is it a quick reversal? Do we hold the price? Is there some sort of structure we can lean on, right? There's a lot of things you can look at. But basically, you got to keep your guard up, because, you know, this is still a fourth wave correction, right? In the beginning of the previous video, I basically said, hey, this is an ascending triangle, and it could be, but it ended up being a fake out, right? So I said basically this is some type of fourth wave, and then we're going to get that fifth wave. I still believe that. The difference is the fourth wave got much more complex, right? So A, B, C, it could be done, or C can come down here even further, right? But before it comes down further, we got to see what happens in here. Is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or is this an A, B, we take out the high, then we come back down for C, right? So there's a lot, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of trickery. You know, when crypto consolidates, it's very hard to figure it out. And that's why, you know, you have guys like, there's a lot of guys on YouTube that, you know, talk about the market, but they don't get into the nitty gritty of it like I do. Right? Not to say that, you know, their content isn't good. I think it's extremely good. But I like to take it a step further and go. I'll give you an example. And I love the guy, so don't think I'm knocking him. But I'll give you an example. XRP with blockchain backer. He refused to talk about XRP until we broke the range. And I don't really like that, because you know, for me and my viewers, I want to know, okay, if we do this, then we can expect this. If we break it to the upside, then we can expect this. You know, just like with Bitcoin, just like the other video, I like to talk options, right? If you're, let's say you know, something happened with you and a business partner, and now you're in a lawsuit with them, right? Your lawyer sits down. What do they talk? They talk options. You want to talk options because the options will help, right? If you refuse to talk about it until one thing happens, a break to the upside, a break to the downside, then it's like, well, then everybody didn't know or expected that was going to happen, right? So for me, I like to talk, hey, if we do this, then we can expect this. If we do that, then we can expect that, right? So if this, then this. It's going to do this, because nobody knows what it's going to do, right? Nobody. All we know is, you know, if this happens, then we can expect a different series of events, right? Because it's all about a series of events, right? So that's basically the only reason I'm doing this channel, because why would I, when everybody else is saying, you know, the same thing, right? So that's why I'm doing this channel, because I'm thinking, okay, if I'm going to do a YouTube channel, then I need to provide more than what everybody else is providing, right? And hopefully I can do that better. And it, you know, it does take more time. It's not like a 10-minute video. I get it in and get it out, right? It takes time to go through those options, and sometimes it benefits people. And then also, as I go through the process of my mindset and the options, it helps people learn. It helps people follow, okay, you know, the mindset of what it's like reading the chart, right? So for example, if I do a Bitcoin update and I basically say in 10 minutes what I think is going to happen, it doesn't really teach you anything. It doesn't really teach you, you know, the step 1, step 2, step 3, right? How I'm breaking it down and things like that. So I think the longer the better, in my opinion, but at the same time, you won't want to be too long because then nobody will watch, right? Plus, I like to just ramble on, and sometimes I just don't know when to stop. But we all have our weaknesses, right? So yeah, that's basically it for this video. A, B, C. Just like I said right up here, we got that pushed down. Again, I didn't know it was going to happen, but it was one of the options. And since I said the option, everybody was aware of the possibility. But, you know, when you have got other guys on YouTube who don't even want to discuss it, right, then it catches people off guard, and then they do some rational thing or irrational thing, right? You know, so it's better to say it and not have it happen than to not say it at all, right? For example, if this never happened, that's still okay because we learned from that possibility, right? Then we can go back and say, you know what? It didn't happen, and that's okay, but what did we learn from that, right? So, yeah. So, sorry, again, ranting, but A, B, C, I'm thinking C probably isn't finished, right? Probably. That doesn't mean it can't be. Now, if we start, like I said, if we start taking out these highs, all these highs, and we hold above there for a while, we come down, we back test it, then I think, yeah, we have that fifth wave. And this would be, that would be wave 3, wave 4, and now we're in wave 5. So this could be done. It could be already finished, right? I'm here to tell you I don't know if it's finished, right? So I'm basically here to say, watch for this. So for example, if this is a 1, 2, and we start coming back down, if we break this box right here, then it's going to look like, especially if we break this low, it's going to look like what? An ABC or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So, you know, that would be one of the options. If we start breaking below, then it's going to look more like this. But if we, for example, pull back a little bit, then continue higher, then it's going to probably look like we're breaking out, right? So, but always be on the lookout for the flats. Usually the flat, irregular flat, expanding flat, usually those patterns are what wipe people out because they are essentially what? A double fake out, right? So for example, you know, it looks like a bullish consolidation, ascending triangle, we break out. Oh my God, we broke out. It's good, it's good, it's good. And then bam. Oh no, it was a fake out. We're going back down. And then bam. And it's like, whoa, what just happened? You know, so it likes to do that, right? Now, the question is, like I said, is it finished? That is what we're going to be watching for, right? So your guess, like I said, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know if it's finished. Just have to wait and let this hash out because right now, this was the down move right here, this down move. And what do I usually say? I want to see it come back 50% of this down move, and this is the retracement level. Do we get through the retracement, or do we get rejected by the retracement? Or do we get through the retracement and then have it be a fake out and then come back down, right? So I probably just made it more confusing for you than ever. But no, it's serious. That's usually the case, right? I like options. I like to give the ideas out there. So I usually say, hey, I'm leaning towards this one, or my primary one is more of this one. You know, we have a better probability stance. But so as for the price of altcoins, so here was the other day's video on Theta. Just a couple words here. Bullish, by the way, a very bullish correction. So trying to figure out, well, what next, right? Well, at some point, I would like us to come down and retest this bull market support band. Now, we just got started. We just broke out. We're on our way up. We're challenging these. You know, we're still working through these resistances. We haven't totally busted through them yet. So I would expect, you know, maybe some struggle at the moment, at least until Bitcoin finishes its correction. Now, if you watch the Bitcoin part of the video, basically, one of the ideas is this is an A, this is a B, and now we're going down for C. Now, C can backtest this area, or it can come all the way down here, or it doesn't even have to break that high. It could be, like I said, a flat, a running flat, or expanded flat, and then a continuation. So if that's the case, and we get this down move, right? I'm going to go over the bullish case and the bearish case, but if we get that down move, what would that look like for Theta? Well, it too would probably be, you know, just like an ABC. So A, working on our B wave, and then we come down for C, and we backtest this, or even retest this $1.15 area. This way, if you're a Theta hodler, there's nothing to be worried about. There's everything to be excited about. Because two reasons. Number one, we have a lot of support, right? So we first stop, right, is this support, $1.20, between $1.15 and $1.20, right? So that. And by the way, here's the light. That was the Theta part, right, of the video. And basically, I said, look, we can come back down and backtest $1.20 to about $1.15. Now, if you look at where it actually stopped out at, it, you know, there was a big wick right here. It got over exuberant. But if you take a line right here with the bodies of the candle, right, the bodies of these candles, where was that at? Look at that, $1.15 to $1.16, exactly as stated in the other video, right? So basically, I said, look, if Bitcoin has that flat, which it did, then we can expect Theta to have some sort of ABC correction. And guess what? It did. So we have A, B, and C, and we back tested this area exactly. And that's why I like charts, right? People say charts don't work. And again, it could have been wrong. It could have been totally wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I knew it was going to. You never know for sure. The whole point of it is to rule out things and have circumstances where if it does occur, then you can understand why and when, and then more importantly, what to expect next, because expecting next is very important because that gives you the edge, right? That gives you the edge. And the best way to do that is rule out what it's not. So now again, here's the price of Theta. Is the correction finished? I don't know. I don't know if it's finished. We have to, you know, see what Bitcoin wants to do. But as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to be concerned about, right? Like I said in the other video, we have so much wiggle room, it's ridiculous, right? At some point, like I said, we want to come down and retest this bull market support band. So you could see it's increasing. So eventually, maybe it happens now. So I'm going to give you the options of what could potentially be. So here we go. So basically, option number one was what happened with Bitcoin, which was the flat, which basically suggests this was an A, B, C, and we hold support up here, right? And then we continue on pumping to the upside. That's clear, cut, and dry, makes sense, right? That would be option number one. Not to say that that's my primary option, because I don't know if it's finished or not. I really don't know. So option number two would be to say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get back down here, we test the bull market support band, maybe double tap it, and then continue higher, right? So we need a deeper correction. What that would be, ladies and gentlemen, is a flat. And where is the flat? Here we go, right here. Check this out. Check this out. We have an A, we have a B, and then we come down for a C. And what does that look like to you? That's a flat right there. So that would be kind of sort of my primary idea. That would be my primary idea. Now, the difference is where does C finish? Where does this wave finish at? That I don't know, right? Typically, you want to have 5 waves in C. Do we have 5? No, we don't. We have 1, 2, 3. We're probably in 4. Maybe we get another 5 waves. Maybe we get another wave down, right? So, but I do like this wick right here. This wick suggested, you know, buyer stepped up, right? But again, nothing falls in a straight line. We have to have a retracement of it. So notice here, and that's why I'm following Bitcoin. Here was the crash, and here's the retracement. Now, Theta barely retraced. Bitcoin retraced much higher, right? So what does that tell me? That tells me it doesn't mean Bitcoin is outperforming, or, well, it is, but it doesn't. It basically says Bitcoin is the leader. Bitcoin is leading the pack. So that's why I'm focusing more of my attention on Bitcoin, because if I can figure it out quicker with Bitcoin, then we can essentially figure it out even quicker with Theta, right? But, you know, people want to see Theta, and I'm more than happy to give people what they want. So, yeah, that's sort of my idea here. Now, again, it can stop out. It could be done here. It can come down here, or it can come down here, right? Or it can even be more tricky, right? And it can come like this: A, B, right? We take out this high, and then we come down. Kind of like a double fake out, right? We break out, get everybody bullish, and then we come down, right? But again, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but it doesn't matter as a hodler, because, again, any of these options are very incredibly bullish for Theta. So if you're a Theta hodler, you're not sweating any of this. In fact, you're excited, right? You're excited because it's better to have a correction now than have a correction later, even though one will come later anyways, right? But it's better to rip the Band-Aid off now. Let's come down. That's what I said I believe that's what I said. I said, let's come down now, get it over with. Let's test the bull market support band, test it, and then continue rocking to the upside. Now, it doesn't have to, right? It can be finished here and we can continue higher. But again, at the end of the day, we got, like I said, a lot of wiggle room, right? So if we continue to go down, right? Put it this way. I want to see the price hold above 85 cents. If we can hold above, that's a lot. That's a big wiggle room right there. As long as we're holding above 85, 90 cents, I think we are golden. There's nothing to be concerned about. This is just a correction, a running correction, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the price of Theta. If you want more information, just watch the video I put out, not yesterday, but the day before the crash, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if I'm looking at XRP, one of the big things I've been talking about is this right here, which is the E wave, A, B, C, and then we continue higher, right? Question is C finished? Well, it wouldn't appear that way, but it could be, right? It could be a rise, crash, retrace, come down for reaccumulation, back test this area, consolidate, then continue higher. Or we get this move down and then continue higher, right? So, and that would be essentially finishing up the most, in my opinion, this is the most bullish chart in crypto at the moment because it met all the criteria, which is a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. And in that, we also have an A, B, C, D, and now we're finishing up E. And each wave needs 3 waves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And guess what? Now we're 1, 2, 3. So we're like right there. We're right there. Now what's really cool that I like to see is pretty bullish is look at this. The price is, even though we wicked way down here and liquidated a bunch of people, look at this. we still held above the bull market support band. That is a very good bullish thing. So I don't know about you guys, but this shakeout is a blessing, right? It's a very good thing because it confirms what I've said going back videos and videos and videos before. So, and I basically said, look, I'd rather it come down, freak everybody out, which it did, right? But again, I still feel like there could be more, right? If we come down even further, it's going to really start to concern people. But to me, I've said it in many videos that this could be a diag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal, right? And then you have A, B, and then you come down for C. And now adding confluence to that, this ABC is also the E wave. And what is the E wave? That is the final wave before mission to Mars. Now here's a beautiful example. Here's a beautiful example. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. What happened right before the blast off? What happened? We had an E wave. Here was wave E right here. And what was it? We have we have an A, B, C. Right? So we're about right here comparing that fractal. Right? So if I just draw it like this, now I'm going to take everything off the screen and I'm going to turn the lights on. And this will be it for the video because I got to get going. Where am I at here? A, B, C. A, B, C, D, E. Boom. Done. And then, adding to that, we have this channel here. Parallel channel. Right? And what happened with the parallel channel? We broke below it. So let's see if that's what's happening now. So if I come over here, right, I can actually take this off. And by the way, for Theta, if you watch the Theta video, I went over all the bullish indicators, and all those bullish indicators were on the weekly and the monthly chart. So it's still incredibly bullish, just to let you know. And so is XRP. So here we go. Same thing that's happening now. A, B, C. This is D right here, and now this is 1, 2, 3 for E. So where does E finish? I don't know. We'll have to see. Right? And then what else? We have this channel right here. Depends where you draw it, right? I can draw it like this. It's not going to be perfect, right? It's not going to be perfect. Now, I'm not to say that this is going to happen, but we can come down and break that channel, get everybody bearish, just like over here. Now, here's the lights. I just turned the lights on. You can see boom, right? And boom. So I'll just give you a moment. Pause the video, take a screenshot of that if you want. Something very clear. And then, you know, this is our contracting triangle, just like what Bitcoin did back in the previous cycle. Right here, except this one's much bigger, right? And you can see right here it actually broke below the triangle here. So where we are now, I mean, we're right up the belly of that triangle, so we can come down, take out all, this is the demand line right here, demand. If we break that demand line, what happens? Liquidity pours in like a monster. Same thing here, demand. We broke the demand, liquidity pours in, all the whales buy it up, moonshot. Same thing here, right? So there you go, guys. It is going according to plan. It is going according to plan, right? So far, so good. Now, crypto likes to throw us a curveball every now and then. So, but for me, I discuss the options, right? So any curveball will be taken with a grain of salt because we've already discussed it at some point of the video. That's why the videos are so long, right? Because there's a lot of different options, a lot of different possibilities that can occur. So we can come down here, right? A, B, C, and then boom, moonshot, just like we did here. Boom, moonshot. So, And then basically, what is that in a nutshell? Rise, rise, crash, crash, retrace, retrace, reaccumulation, reaccumulation, sideways base, sideways base, fake out, no fake out yet. So that's what we're expecting next, the fake out. Then a blast off. Now the fake out, again, doesn't have to come. We don't have to get a fake out, but if we do, it's just going to give me more confluence into this, because this is our roadmap essentially, right? So yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for the video. I hope you liked the video. Please consider subscribing. I think I just passed 500 subscribers. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. I started doing videos back in October, and so far been doing pretty well, and definitely helping people out, hopefully helping people out, right? So yeah, thank you guys again, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat, right? You know, there is no dumb question out there. So please, I encourage people to ask as many questions as you like, right? That way there's no, or if there's any coins also you want me to take a look at, drop them in the comment section. I might take a look at it. So, but until next time, guys, I will see you later. Cheers.